Hi, welcome. In this video, we're going to see me over here with Bella. Again, this is the first time interacting with her directly on a leash. Now, I switched over to a pressure collar called a choke chain. But here's the thing, it's not about choking dogs, okay? It's about leverage, it's about control, it's about agreeableness. So because here with Bella, okay, she's on a flat collar, but she's really kicking off. She's really not liking the leash at all, being directed. So she's trying to push really hard against the flat collar. And so here to help in terms of her agreeableness is I have the choke chain on her to help to gain more control. Again, this is where, again, this issue of bigger dogs, even dogs that are really pushing really hard, because I understand it's a power play. Okay, but again, it's about what's reasonable. It's about getting a dog to come into agreement with, but based on, again, making certain adjustments at the same time, which you're going to see me doing here, to keep the level of challenge down. You don't want to be cranking and yanking on the choke chain. You don't want to be asserting undue influence, okay? Because again, you can tell that Bella really is holding a lot of control. She doesn't want to be directed this way. She wants to be able to, have a certain level of control over certain interactions. And so this is about lining this up. So when I'm using the choke chain, which is on here right now, I'm going to take my time, okay? And even here, here's the thing, when the choke chain's on a dog, sometimes it'll look like sometimes it'll look like I'm putting influence onto it. It looks like it's choking a dog, and it's not. I'm actually, it's just hovering there, okay? It just has enough influence on it to keep it up higher on the neck so that I have better control that way. But I'm actually releasing the dog the entire time once agreeableness starts to happen. But even when the dog is really kicking off, this is where you want to be more patient and not be moving too quickly, because that will set things in motion too to create a high level of conflict. So with Bella, you see me right here, I'm just standing here. I just came out, I'm just standing here. You can tell she's pretty disagreeable, and I'm letting her kind of work through some of this, okay? So there's some accommodation here. Understand you do want to be accommodating, but not accommodating in such a way where you want to switch over, start using treats, start motivating the dog, because accommodation becomes control, okay? So she'll be very agreeable, but because she's gaining control back, okay? Understand the line in the sand here. When people look at the free will of a dog based on the fact you have a relationship problem, think about the free will of a selfish child when you already have a relationship problem. So it's really, really deceptive when people look at what's happening and wondering why it is that I'm following a certain path. But I understand I'm making certain adjustments at the same time to keep the level of conflict reduced. So I'm going to move her forward here a little bit. So I'll move her forward here a bit, just a bit here. Again, take the pressure off. And do a little push-pull. And when you do push and pull with the choke chain on, see here, don't pull up so hard. Here I'm barely pulling up here, just pulling, because again, the choke chain will, of course, create more influence. So when you use it, typically if I'm doing a socialization exercise with the dog, and that type of exercise, I'm going to switch right over to the flat collar the entire time, okay? Because again, keeping this leveled out, this is where, so here, if I'm doing the push and pull as part of the basic method, I'm a little bit more considerate of not pulling up so hard, okay, on that device. So here, same thing. I'm going to move forward here some bit. Bella's coming forward, put her into the sit, and do a little push-pull. I don't want her standing on my feet. And then again, the push-pull, it's not hard, it's push-pull. It's meant to grab her attention. It serves influence on her. It brings, okay, it's about her agreeableness to it, but it grabs a hold of her mind for a second. Okay, so we'll change the perception of the dog that way. Now, when you watch the reaction of a dog, okay, and to the level of control they have, understand when you're doing this, they'll look depressed. Okay, their head will look down. People go crazy sometimes when they see certain dogs looking a certain way because they're emotionalizing the reaction. But here's the thing. Think about when you're engaging an already selfish child. Okay, you're starting to take their Xbox away, their toys away because everything's out of control. Well, they're not going to look so great either. But it's not about that. It's about moving through the process to come out on the other side. Because as we do this, you'll see every day, you'll see her look better and better and better, getting more and more agreeable, and she's going to look more normalized because it's a transition. Understand, this is the process. So same thing, move forward with her. But it's about what's reasonable. Same thing, barely pushing there, a little push-pull. But same thing, taking my time. Because I know I don't want things to kick off here. I'm just, I'm just letting her kind of work through it. I am using the choke chain because she knows it's on her now, and she's a lot more agreeable, okay, because I have more control. Because again, you have to kind of adjust things a little bit, because the same thing I tell people, you don't want to get out on the street with a big dog, and it makes no point to use a flat collar, and you end up with a broken arm because you have an idea that you're going to stick to. But the best collar to use for the go-between collar is the choke chain. Use a pinch collar, it's called. Yeah, you have control, but it doesn't line up in terms of that collar is what that collar, based on what the collar represents. They're not able to assert influence properly to fade in. Okay, it's a collar that the dog's responding to. This is why people keep devices off the dog sometimes, because it's not lining up. So the go-between tool is the choke chain, but be very intentional with how you're using it. Don't, and I always tell people, be very aware that it can really cause a lot of conflict if you're not using it right. Same thing forward. I barely put any pressure on the choke chain, the pressure collar at all. Just a little bit, because again, this is starting to line up because she's starting to do the same thing every time, and so she understands what I want. Okay, so she started coming to more agreement with the same thing. Move forward a little bit. See that? Just pushing on her bum here a little bit, lining it up, just barely. Tip of collapse in line, little push pull. And then the pressure's off, okay? There's inwardness here already. She's not investing, but she looks a little depressed, right? She looks like, okay, that's normal, okay? It's about what's reasonable. Because she's dealing with it. She's saying, hey, I want to be able to be emotional with me. I'd love for him to pet all over me, but that's not a good thing to do. Okay, this is about me being in control, but in a good way, okay? This is about relationship. It's like being a good parent, right? I'm working through a relationship problem with Bella. So I'm going to give it a moment. Now I'm saying I'm going to move forward here. See that? She comes forward really quick. Barely putting any pressure on this collar at all. Watch this. I'll use 2 fingers here just to illustrate. Just so people understand that I'm not putting, watch this. Just barely, look at this. This gives me control. Watch this. Move forward. See that? Barely doing anything with this. Little bit. Move a foot off me. Pressure. See, pressure off. Yeah, pressure off. It gives me the leverage. See, barely, so people are aware. I want people to be really aware of what's going on here. Because again, when people see certain things, if you see a collar like this, people assume things, right? It's just hovering here. It's not even applying pressure. But she knows it's on, right? She knows I have better control, and she is responding to it. But again, the goal is to switch back over to the flat collar here. During the process, okay? This just gives me better control, because I don't want to be, because the thing is, she's on the flat collar, she's really pushing hard, okay, and then this causes more conflict. This just gives me more advantage here for a short period of time. She gets more accepting of the leash. Same thing, push on her bum here, but just not hard, just, I want her to collapse, accept, agreeableness, push, pull for a second, pressure off. And with her, see, she's coming along here, same thing, just so it's reasonable. You're making the same movements all the time. Little push pull. You tap a little bit. But again, this is the whole thing. The whole dog training world is based on assumptions, right? You look at this and you might assume, well, you start petting on it right now. Don't do that. Because again, we're in the day one, a very short period of time. The dog is still in process. Okay, if you're still in process, you've got to maintain the same theme, okay, the entire time. You have to work through it. Stand forward. Same thing, I'm just relaxed. I'm not angry, I'm not mad, nothing like that. I'm just relaxed. This is just about me being a leader, but I am being accommodating. I'm not going fast. I'm just going, letting her work through some of this, but I'm taking pressure, so we're together. Notice I'm just standing here. There's no pressure on the collar, because it's about her accepting me based on how I'm thinking, how I'm interacting, and the acceptance level of that. See the same thing. So again, when you're using a collar like this, slow down. Don't go fast. Know when to take the influence off Again, it's like a line in the sand. Agreeableness, pressure off. And even if you get a lot of disagreeableness, a lot of conflict, sometimes you gotta let, don't, continue. Just know when to you have to kind of know when to even skip certain steps. Even when I'm working with dogs, for example, I might skip the push-pull part, okay? Just to, again, same thing. She wants to lay down here. I'm gonna bring her up a little bit, bring her forward. I'm moving my knee here, I'm just helping to kind of move her away from me so she's not leaning on me. Little push-pull. Just normal, right? Just relaxed, right? This is de-stressing her. Okay, this is, see already how she's starting to lift up a little more even here? She had a little bit, more, head was down at first. Now she's kind of, lifting up a little bit. She's looking a little bit more agreeable, relaxed, right? I'm not doing anything crazy, okay? This is just about taking a step forward. The same thing right here. Get a little reaction, of course, dogs, that's why dogs don't want to be right here, right? But she's doing well. Understand, this is day one, right? We're just a few hours into it, and, she's doing great, considering. So it's all about just reconciling the reaction, okay? But again, there's certain things you want to do to accommodate, but without going completely the other way, to allow a dog to maintain control. See, that's the trick in the dog training world. So many people have this idea that you can motivate dogs, the free will of the dog. Take everything I say, and I would encourage you to do it, and think about the selfish child example I use. If you wouldn't do it with a selfish child, why are you doing it with dogs that are social animals expecting a different result? It just doesn't work that way. Okay, but at the same time, it's about reconciling the role of influence, interaction-based method that makes sense to the dog because I'm doing the same thing every time. Again, you can have an interaction-based system, but it could be erratic. It can't be erratic. It can't be falling because the dog's trying to work it out. This is why I'm doing the same, see me stepping, doing the same thing each time. It's the language of the method. The language has to be clear language. I'm not using commands because the dog, it's all about packaging. Understand, there's a lot going on here. There's depth, so commands come online once the dog comes into agreement with and starts to, the perceptions change in the dog, then I can start to use certain words to line things up. So understand, this system trains pretty deep because it's understanding this. I'm going through a sequence. So again, Bella's doing really well, and the same thing, I just keep rotating through. This is day one, so a lot of it's just the basic interaction. The dogs are de-stressing, they're relaxing more and more in the crate because everything is making